Hey yo, what is up YouTube? Isaac Miner, bro, back today bringing you a banger story time. And in today's story time, I'm going to be telling you one of the wilder, one of the crazier, one of the drug addict story times. Okay guys, so this story time actually took place around 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, I went to like this little club and they would host events. They would do certain activities on different days, you know. And basically on this one weekend, what they was going to do, they was basically going to take us out to France. And the place that we was gonna go and like stay in France was Paris. Like that was the main place where like the Eiffel Tower is. You know, it's just beautiful in France, in Paris. It's supposed to be like the capital love city of the world, I think. But I wasn't going with a girl and I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. So yeah, very unfortunate for me. So what happened is it come to like the weekend, we had everything ready. We set off. I think it was around 9 or 10 a.m. and basically we went to the airport and stuff. Like I met up with the group. We got on the plane. I think it was only like around 2 hours to get there. It wasn't even that. It was kind of like a really short flight that we went on. So in the group of us, there was around, I think there was around 12 of us, and then there was two like main like adults who like coached the group who was coming with us. The other two at the group wasn't. Altogether there was 4 like main adults who would do the activities, but on this day there was only 2 who was actually going out to like France, Paris, because the other 2 had to like carry on the activities for the people who wasn't coming on this like trip. So what the original plan was is we would land in France and then we would go to this one city which was on the outskirts of Paris. We wasn't actually directly flying from Birmingham BHX to Paris. We was gonna stay in like somewhere in France. It was called something like Mantes la Jolie or something like that. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I'll put it up on screen. And as we was going there on like the plane, like because one of our like people in the group was from France and he knew a bit about like where to go in France, where not to go. He was basically saying that the place that we was going to stay in for 2 days, because we was going to that place for 2 days and then we was going to go to Paris on the last day just to like check it out and whatnot. And yeah, because in Paris you don't really tend to stay there because it's kind of expensive, because the place that we was originally planning was like close to the Eiffel Tower and that's like stupidly expensive for what we was going to do. So we had to stay on one of the outskirt towns and then go to Paris on the last day. It's kind of all confusing, okay, but it'll make sense in a minute. So what happens is we get to this Mantes, it was like Mantes la Jolie or something like that, Jolie in ours, but I'm kind of trying to do the accent. It didn't really work. So when we was on like this plane and we was going from the bus to like this little town, people were basically saying, well, this main one guy who was like knew a bit about French and stuff and he was from France previously, he was basically saying that this is one of like the ghetto parts of France and like it's a place that you should really avoid if you go in there like on your own or you go in there at night. And yeah, it can be sketchy, so just watch your stuff. And a few of like the older members, like the ones who were coaching, the 2 that were coaching, they was basically saying, yeah, just stay in groups, we're going to be like counting you, checking you in and all that. And to be honest, I think 2 members, like 2 adult leaders, if you can call them that, for a group of 12 doesn't seem like it's enough. There should at least have been 4, but the other 2 couldn't have come, and it was kind of like a small group that I went to. It was kind of like a scouts or like one of them brownie things. It wasn't too big though. There was a max of like 20 people who went there all together. But yeah, we get to this like little city and we go into our like hotel. It was a pretty decent hotel. It wasn't the best of hotels, but I think it was like a 3.5, 4 star, something around that. So we get there and basically because we was around 15 or 16 years old, I was 15 at the time. Basically, we'd get to go out in like little small groups, say a group of 3, like people who can split off and go into like the town and stuff, but you always had to like check back in. Like there'd be one main member in, say there's a group of 3, there'd be one person out of that 3 who would have like one of the main leaders' numbers or the leaders' numbers, so you can like phone them if anything's wrong, text them. And we couldn't really go too far. We'd be given like a certain perimeter to stay in or like what not to go past, etc. So we decided we was gonna go to like this little kind of like coffee coffee shop, which kind of looks a bit run down. It was underground, and it's hard to explain, okay? So there's like steps going down. I'll pop a picture up on screen, and you kind of go into this coffee shop, and it looks kind of all like urban street vibes. It was kind of amazing, to be honest. Like, my eyes were literally just overwhelmed with all the colours just hitting my eyes and just all the things going on at once. So we decided, let's go into one of these coffee shops and just try it. And no, for any of you asking, it wasn't one of them Amsterdam coffee shops. It was just a normal coffee shop. You could have bagels, you could have coffee, hot chocolate, all that sorts of stuff, brownies. You probably get the gist of what I'm trying to explain. So we go into this, and out of like 20, I'd say we was in there just literally just looking at the menu for like 10 minutes. So the 10 minutes comes around, and I order a coffee and one of these like chocolatey brownies, and I ordered like this other thing, which I think it was like a flapjack, but in the middle it had like these weird raisin things. It's really hard to explain. So I ordered the brownie, the flapjack, and the drink, and they get like to come to me. So I'm eating this, I'm drinking this, and midway through I'm like, yo guys, because I was with two other people, like the close people that I was with, who I kind of knew from the group, and the rest of the people there was just off around their tent, etc. So I was like, I need the toilet bad, like I'm bursting for the toilet. So I'm like, oh okay, go to the toilet, and I'll basically go up to the front desk. I say, do you have a toilet? Is there a toilet? And they go, yes, in like a French accent. They go, look, we, and then they point over to the toilet, and you've got like the men's and then the women's. So I get over and I open the men's door. It's like a door first, which basically leads you into like the toilet section. Then you've got on the left men's, and then on the right women's. So I'll go into the men's, obviously I'm not going to go into the women's. I get in there, and there is this homeless guy literally sitting on the corner in the toilets, like just on the floor underneath like the hair dryers. Do you know when you put your hands under and you've just washed your hands and you want to dry your hands? Yeah, there is a man sitting on the corner with a little pot, like asking for money and stuff. So I go in there, I try to like avoid him as much as possible because I know this is a sketchy area. And as I walk in, the guy literally just stares at me the whole way, and I kind of like look back, and I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, what is he doing? What do you mean? So what happens is next, I'm on like the toilet, like I actually go into one of the cubicles because I don't know what this guy's gonna do. If I go to like the little urinal, he'll probably try and like come and touch my pee-pee, you know. No, but for real. So I go into one of them little cubicles, lock the door, I have my pee, come out, wash my hands, and I know some of you in the comments are going to be like, oh, it's like, you never wash your hands. Well, I did on this day, because after touching that door, I don't know where that homeless man's hands have been, and you know. So I wash my hands, and as I was washing my hands, like kind of like looking over to the guy, I could see him literally just staring at me like he's never saw a black dude or a mixed dude before. I'm like, okay, this is kind of creeping me out. So as I go to like dry my hands, I'm like to the guy, excuse me, and he's kind of like, help me. And I'm like, oh, and I knew now that the guy wasn't actually French. Like, he was more like of an English heritage. He sounded more English. So I'm like, oh, what's wrong? And I kind of like kneel down to him to see what's wrong while I'm like drying my hands. And I know it's kind of loud at the time, so I dry my hands quickly. I finish up that, and the guy's like, help me. And he's like, can you help me put this in my arm? And I'm like, I'm very sorry. No, I can't. Do you want me to go and get help? And he's like, no help. You help. And I'm like, no, I can't be doing that. Because think about it, right? Some homeless guy is asking me to put some needle in his arm, and I go to him, what? Like, he's just making no sense at this point. So I go to the guy, I'm like, what is it? And he kind of like shows me, and he says, heroin. And heroin. And I'm like, yeah, I've got to go. And I literally, right, as I'm about to open the door to walk out of the toilets, like literally, I don't want to be associated with this guy. He said, I'll offer you some. And I'm like, hey, no, it's fine. I'm going to get help. So I went back to the main desk, and basically what I did, I asked one of the staff members, this woman who worked there. She was probably around 4 or 5 years older than me, so in her 20s. And she basically said, oh, that guy, that's Steve. He normally sits in there, like, he just sits in there because it's cold outside, you know, and yeah, bad things can happen to him. So he just sits in the toilet. And I'm like, okay, well, you should really help the guy out, because he's asking me in there if I want any heroin in reward of helping him put a needle in his arm. And she's like, oh, but it could. And then she starts speaking in like a French, in her French, yes, in her, that kind of didn't make sense. She started speaking French to one of her like co-workers, and then they actually go into the bathroom and basically I don't know what they do, but they sort him out, and I see him getting dragged out, and yeah, it was kind of a whole commotion. He starts like screaming of like, yeah, because apparently this girl basically said to me that he's been doing that a lot recently, and they've been trying to like like stop him from coming in, but they don't really want to refuse him coming in because he could get hurt on the street. And the guy just kept staring at me, you know. I finished up my drinks and stuff, and the woman come over. She said, I know this can kind of be like very overwhelming and very just like all hit at once, you know. Like I tried to make out what she was saying, but I couldn't really understand. And she was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And this was all in a French like accent, by the way. And yeah, I literally just left the store after that and went back to like our hotel, which was in Mantes-les-Jean, which we was in, which we was in the area anyway. But yeah, after that we went back to the hotel and we just linked up with our groups and stuff. We told them about the story, and they was like, are you okay? And then I'm like, yeah, we'll be fine. We're just a bit shocked. And I told my friends, obviously, who were sitting at the table, and they was like, no way, was that the homeless man at the table? And I was like, yeah. And they was like, oh, was that the homeless man we saw getting dragged out? And I was like, yeah, because I was gone for quite a long time just talking to this guy, and I don't want to put any of like the unnecessary things in this video, obviously. I was actually talking to the guy for a bit long, and yeah, it kind of led on to him saying and doing that. So I hope the guys are well, Mr. Homeless Man. I know you probably wasn't from France, but I don't know why you was homeless in a France coffee shop in the toilet. But yeah, if you enjoyed this story, please do leave a like. If you are new around here, please do subscribe, turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you in the next video for a banger story time. Peace.